So, a new Dragon Ball movie was announced there the other day for 2022, and I am so hyped, man. I love my Dragon Ball movies. I want a Dragon Ball Super to come back as a series myself, but I'm down for a movie. Um, I mean, Dragon Ball doesn't have the same problem of something I wanted to touch on about movies before, but we'll talk about that some other day because of how Dragon Ball is and it's kind of so big. But again, we'll talk about that some other day. Right now, we're gonna just talk about what I think will happen in the Dragon Ball movie, and just like what I think the plot will be, basically, and if it will tie into a series coming back, or if it will just tie into the manga, or if it will be like a end to Z type thing. I don't know, but we're gonna talk about all the ideas like got popping into my head. You know. First of all, I want to get this out of the way, right? As much as I'd love it, right, I would adore a Universe 6 movie, right? Specifically Sadala movie. I would adore that shit. No, but I like all the Universe 6 characters, man. I like Frost, I like Hit, I like Kefla, I like Kaba, you know? I even like those two Namekians that they had in the Tournament of Power. They're all really cool characters, some more than others. Like Hit's fucking epic, man. He's so cool. But I want a movie focused on their universe or the Saiyan specifically. That would be really cool to have, to be honest. I mean, I don't think that's what they're going to go with, but it's something I'm really looking forward to if they do, or if they have an arc of it in the series. I feel like they need to, right? Because now would be the perfect time for them to have it after this arc, right? Where Vegeta learns his chill Jita mode, or chill Jeets mode, whatever you want to call it. Because it seems like he's getting to end to Z Vegeta soon, with his, like, kind of just chill persona. Which I'm totally down with, you know what I mean? Like, I'm down with that. So wouldn't that be the perfect way to teach Kaba, to go over and teach Kaba? Maybe. I don't know. And I think Goku, could you have it where Goku has two apprentices? Because at that point it'd be like, because I know Oob is in the story. Because at the time of when I was thinking of this, Oob wasn't in the story, so it was a completely different talking point. But could Kefla be, or not Kefla, could Caulifla be like Goku's apprentice? I could see that happening, but I feel like they don't want to abandon Oob, right? Obviously, as shown through the latest arc, like the Moro arc, they really don't want to abandon Oob. I just wonder, like, I really liked Kefla, or I keep saying Kefla, Caulifla when she was first introduced, right? The idea of her being a female Saiyan who was trying to compete with Goku, and Goku was teaching her. And I liked the way she went about, or he went about it, because she was already relatively strong, so he could go about it by fighting during combat. And I like that type of training, you know what I mean? I like that idea. And the double team with Caulifla and Kale. Although, you see, I don't know if they'll use Kale that much. I feel like they might have her fight off against Broly for some fan service. I don't know how it would happen. But this is Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball is more about the fan service than it is about, like, coherent story. So it's bound to happen somehow if they can get merch out of it, man. Imagine that, like a statue of like Broly and like, Kale just standing next to each other. I do think they might redo her design to fit more with the new Broly style, but I think Caulifla is okay. Who would the main antagonist be? That is the question, right? I don't know. I honestly haven't got a clue at this point. I was trying to think myself. Like I could be like, I mean, they could have Frost be the villain, but I think that'd be too reminiscent of Frieza and it'd be a bit boring. Maybe the Saiyans, because they are peacekeepers here, right? So maybe they're just going to a war-torn planet to help out, and then you are running to a big villain that, I don't know, that hates the Saiyans because they always stop war, or something like that. Because Dragon Ball villains have very simplistic motives, so you don't really need to think of complex motives for these villains. I am trying to think though, like a genuine motive, because I think the Saiyans in Universe 6 are peacekeepers, as I stated just there. But what could they do for the peacekeepers to have a villain? Obviously, a war torn country and a dictator would be cool, but is that too low stakes? I don't know. Maybe they're dealing with the fallout from the whole universe snap thing and see how that affected people. Maybe the Saiyans are becoming more like Universe 7 Saiyans and Goku and Vegeta are trying to prevent it somehow. I don't know. Or maybe they're just... There's a lot of things you could do with it. Or maybe you could have one focused on Hit and his whole career. That'd be awesome as well. Because people love Hit, including myself. I know we would have to have Goku. Don't get me wrong. I understand that Goku's a big part of the series, but it would really be cool to literally just have a hit solo movie. That's never gonna happen, but that would be so cool. Him just going around and killing big targets, like a fucking James Bond movie or a Jason Bourne movie, but for a hit. I would love that, to be honest. Or like a or a buddy comedy for Kefla and Kale. That'd be hilarious. That would actually be genuinely fucking hilarious. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could do with Universe 6, and I'm very excited to see where they go with it. But what I think is more likely, and I know everyone's been touching on this, a cooler movie. I wasn't thinking cooler, to be honest, when I was thinking new new villains. I was thinking the big kaiju guy. What was his name? Fucking God, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Hirudegon. That's it. All right. Yeah, Hirudegon. No, the one I was thinking of was Hirudegon, right? Yeah. And the reason I'm thinking that is because Japan are big on kaiju, right? That whole thing. So if we have one where it's like Hirudegon is the main villain, and they could still have a similar plot to the original movie, just fit it in with Trunks, and you could still have Tapion, like, and have Trunks get his sword and have it a new way for him to get his sword, which I think would be really cool to have. It's like similar to the original movie, but obviously you fit in super lore and stuff. Maybe he's like a sealed away beast that even the God of Destructions couldn't beat, or he's like a multi-universal beast that destroys universes. Or maybe we have our Galaxy Eater. Maybe Hirudegon becomes the Galaxy Eater of the Dragon Ball Super universe, which would be really cool, to be honest. I'd love that. Not only to make Dragon Fist canon, which I'm all about. You know, any day, every day, I'm all about that Dragon Fist making canon, bros. But what is even canon now? We have like multiverses on top of parallel timelines. You can basically say anything's canon now because there's so many parallel universes. Anything can be canon at this point. Even fucking GT. Oh no. I mean, Janemba also will be really cool. With his stuff, considering they did Gogeta, and you could have another Gogeta movie with Janemba as the main antagonist and have him being rewrited. Maybe they might change him. Instead of just being a weird hell monster, they might have him being like what was his name? Toa's brother. Anyway, we're just gonna call him Toa's brother because I forget his name. Yeah, no, we could have Janemba be Toa's brother's replacement because he dies in the Buu Saga, right? So maybe he's the replacement for Deborah in the demon realm, right? And he's like he has big plans, and he tries to like reconquer the human world or something like that. It's a very Xenoverse X plot that I think they've tried before, but I think it'd be really cool to have it in a canon story and have it so like Janemba is like the like demon boss. I think that'd be really cool to do, and you could still have Gogeta and maybe make a Gogeta trilogy or something. I mean, I don't know. I think Hirudegon would be more likely in that sense because they could they could totally do one where it's like Broly gets introduced because he's Galaxy. Let's say he's a Galaxy Eater, or he's like some villain that is more than just an Earth villain. Broly could get involved, whereas I think Hell, they wouldn't really have a plausible way to get Broly involved, and they probably want Broly to be involved in these movies to sell more tickets, right? So you're kind of thinking here, like, what are they gonna go with? I kind of avoiding talking about Cooler, honestly, because everyone has talked about Cooler to death. I don't really want to talk about him much, but we'll do a bit of it right now. I mean, again, as I stated before, like, Cooler is also a good way to have all the cast involved, including Broly, because he's a relative of Frieza, and Broly has a bit of a vendetta against Frieza right now. You know, killing a person's dad, it doesn't really put you in their good books, my friend. You know? Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they would go about Cooler. I like the idea of him being like either an exiled, like he was too strong for King Cole to handle, so he exiled him, or either the type of thing where he was like sealed away. Maybe they could mix in Janemba and Cooler while Cooler was sealed in the demon realm or something like that. But I think, as most people were saying, it's more likely for him to be sealed in Universe 6. so they can still have a universe traveling idea, which I think would be cool. Or maybe it's like, maybe it's like something like Champa and Beerus, where instead of him actually being exiled, Frieza took over Universe 7. So Cooler was like, all right, well, you took this galaxy over. I'm gonna take these universes over now. So he's now the ruler of. What were the universes that weren't in the Tournament of Power? What if he's like the ruler of the most powerful universe, or one of the most powerful universes, and he's like the Omni ruler, like not the Omni King. I was just using Dragon Ball terms, but like he's the ruler of this world, or maybe he's the god of destruction of that universe. I think that'd be really cool. And then have like Silver Cooler or something. That would. I know Silver Cooler's been something for a while, but that would be cool. And maybe you could have what was it called, the Machina Star, as like some technology he has. So it's like a cheeky reference to the actual Revenge of Cooler movie. Like one of his weapons or one of the technologies he possesses is like something called a Mecha Star. I don't know what they would do with it. Like maybe it is a planet trainer, and that's like if he's bored with a planet, instead of creating a war on it to get rid of them, he just puts the Machina Star on it and it drains the planet's life energy, like a reverse spirit bomb. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be cool. It'd be a cheeky reference to the movies, and obviously he should have his fourth form because that's his big selling point. Yeah. I feel like that should be his final form. Like they shouldn't have it like maybe he could have like his normal form be his like primary form, but then they couldn't sell any merchandise, so I doubt it. His new form is obviously going to be some coloration. I think Platinum would be cool because I don't know, maybe it's just the Pokemon fan in me, but Platinum's like the ultimate mineral in my eyes. I don't know. Again, it's the Pokemon fan talking to me there, but there's so much they could do with these movies and Cooler in general. I like their dynamic in like Xenoverse and in any games they appear in together. So I'd like a movie on them definitely. But on the note of Frieza though, a Frieza solo movie would absolutely slap. I would love a Frieza solo movie. Even if like him in the past. I know we had it at the start of Broly, like a mini clip. But of him, or like even Cold taking over the galaxy, or how they ruled. Oh man, I'm thinking of so many solo movies now you could do. Or maybe they do, instead of that, maybe they had like an idea of adapting the series, like the manga. But as people have been saying, I doubt it. Like the manga is too long. Two movies would make sense. People were saying two movies. That would be able to adapt the Moro arc. But I don't know, to be honest. People are saying maybe tie it into Granola, which I think is a great idea, because then you could have people be like, just at the end of the Granola arc, be like, oh yo, you can go see this movie, see what happens to these guys. Leave it on a cliffhanger, take a break for a month or two, and then have the movie be out for 2 months, and then release the next chapter. I think that would be a very smart idea, very good marketing tactic to get people who don't want to read the manga to read the manga. I just don't think they'd weigh the risks that way. I don't know. I mean, as a Bardock simp, you know, I would always love some Bardock movie, like a Bardock movie. Anything to do with Bardock. The beginning of Broly was part of Bardock. Or, I don't know, even if we had like a Xenoverse movie, like where they made the whole thing canon, where Trunks goes back like to the timeline, but no, he runs into the Supreme Kai of Time, and then all the Xenoverse shenanigans happens. Even that as a movie, and then you have Time Breaker Bardock, or just normal Bardock who drifting through space because of what happens in Xenoverse. I would really love anything to do with Bardock. That I saw that cheeky cameo in like chapter 69 of Super. I saw that. I was like, let's go. Are we gonna have some like he flashes back to where like, oh, Bardock was the one who actually wiped out his entire, and he knows the guy's face, his entire clan, he knows the guy's face. That would be so cool. I am up for that. I'm just so excited. There's so many ideas because Dragon Ball is such a big franchise with so many different things you can do. There's so many different creatures. There's Squeaky Chair. Squeaky Chair. Man, who doesn't like Squeaky Chair? Bro, it's the best member. It's the best member. But he's the real god of destruction, guys. Squeaky Chair. Poor lad gets depressed all the time, but you know, we get by. But no, seriously though, um, there's so much you could do with Dragon Ball. Like you could even have it like they had the heaters now, which is literally a canon version of Bojack's crew, which is really awesome to see. Although I have to say, my main man Heater's got some drip. Like the main Heater has some real drip, man, compared to Bojack. He's really suited up, honestly, man. Um, I mean, what else could they do? Like logically speaking, obviously. Now, obviously, we haven't been speaking entirely logically, and we've been speaking mainly of previous movie villains. They could have another Broly movie, but what could they do there? That's the question. Most likely, they'd have him be tied into Granola in some sense. I think this is where they could tie it in with Granola, right? Where it's like instead of just the two Saiyans, they're like the three Saiyans, right? They find out about Broly through what's it? C739 or something. The robot that Moro left behind. If he has records of the Broly movie somehow, like a retcon where they have records of the Broly movie, that would be amazing to have that. So instead of just like the two Saiyans fighting, they have the three of them and have like a Broly team up. I feel like that would sell tickets. I feel like it would, personally. Obviously, and Chile, because people love Chile. People are obsessed with her right now. Which, alright, fair enough. I can see why. But I must say, there's so much you could do. I wish they'd do more solo stories though, because that'd be really cool. Maybe I know people want Raditz now. Raditz got really popular over the past couple months. I don't know why, but people want a lot of Raditz stuff now. I don't think Raditz is ever gonna come back. I just don't know really if he ever will. To be honest, I don't even have ideas for his movies unless it was TFS Raditz. Bro, let's have a TFS movie, a actually animated by Toei TFS movie. Let's go. You could have an End of Z movie, but I doubt that would come out in 2022 unless they were planning a time skip to a point where, the End of Z is already changed in a sense. Like, I don't think it would be massively changed. You could have one where it's like a quote unquote GT movie where they rewrite the events of GT to make it canon. Like, obviously they wouldn't do everything, but like have it where like obviously they want to introduce Super Saiyan 4 or their version of Super Saiyan 4. I guarantee it. It's gonna be like Primal Super Saiyan or something, because they already showed something like that off with Broly, and I think they might do that. Because Super Saiyan 4 is so popular, but then you could also say they don't want to mess with what's perfect, the only perfect thing to come out of Dragon Ball GT. But I think space exploration idea is really, really there to execute very well by Toriyama. I mean, you could have Jocko involved in the Galactic Patrol, and the Omega Shenron ideas always work very well. The execution wasn't great in GT, but they could definitely go about it. I would say do some baby-like stuff, but I feel like that's what they're doing with Granola, so I don't think Baby's going to be done in any way, because I think Granola is the new baby, or the canon baby. I don't know why that came to my mind when I was reading the chapters, to be honest. Maybe we could have one where like something happens in the big six universes, right? Or the big five. I can't remember. The ones that didn't participate in the Tournament of Power. And like something happens there and Goku and Vegeta gotta check it out, and then they see the more powerful beings of the universe and they see how outmatched they are, and then we've got another 10 years of like 4-dimensional beings that Goku has to catch up to. Imagine that shit. There's so much stuff, man. It's great. It's great to think about. I realize how fucking squeaky the chair has been, but I'm deeply sorry about all that. Yeah. Are they gonna reintroduce Jiren in some way? In a movie, I don't think so, but thinking about it though, you could have a movie about Jiren and have Goku and Vegeta be involved. I'm gonna talk about this in like just Jiren terms, because they can literally shoehorn Vegeta and Goku into anything. So we're just gonna, because we don't actually know who the person who killed Jiren's parents were, right? And they could definitely make a movie based on how Jiren, like, whether Jiren finds out about it, whether it was the current God of Destruction, and how that unfolds, and maybe the tyranny that goes through Universe 11. They could do something like that, and I think that'd be really cool. Or they could have something with, like, Future Trunks that isn't what I said before. Because Future Trunks sells a lot, right? He's a big seller. I don't know how much after the Goku Black arc, but what could they do? Like, what could they do with him? Like, I think their best option for him would have been to have him stay in the past, yeah. And then they could have utilized him as much as they wanted, but they decided not to do that, which made no sense. By the way, it made fuck all sense, but we're moving on from that, boys. Future Trunks is a dead character at this point, like figuratively, but like I don't think they're gonna do anything with him ever again. But I have to say, all this talking about movies has been cool and all, but we have to give Toyotaro some some prop here, right? Because his manga since the Moro arc started has been pretty fucking stellar. And that's all the parts he's been primarily involved in, and Toriyama has only done the designs and tiny story outlines. So, fair play to you, Toyotaro. I'll give you props, and your paneling has got much better as well, so fair play to you, man. Raise a hand to Toyotaro in the new Dragon Ball movie, boys. Chala, hi shala.